Cards or no cards? Here's my question for you. Is it essential for a psychic to read cards? My answer is, of course not. Cards or pendulums or teacups or anything else a person uses to identify and interpret the message from your consciousness are just tools that helps the reader to focus. Nobody needs to use any tools to do a psychic reading. Just like you get brainwaves and hunches and prophetic dreams without the aid of any tools or crutches. Then why are there so many psychics that use tarot cards? Don't ask me. I've studied tarot cards and even written a book on how to use tarot major arcana to make better decisions about your life. My conclusion was that tarot is meant to be a philosophical manual for life so that you can understand the deeper meaning of life. Tarot is not meant for fortune telling or party tricks. Tarot is meant for studying life and how you navigate through your life. So yes, using angel cards or even tarot cards are one way of switching on your pineal and pituitary glands. But you can simply focus your consciousness without using any cards and get the same results. Translating and interpreting the consciousness that is stored in these energy waves sometimes require trust when you're a psychic. I once told a client that she will be publishing several books and she will identify herself with her fingerprints rather than with her name. It turned out she's a ghostwriter, and although she collects the details of the story and writes it, her name doesn't appear on the book. I had to warn another client not to push 3 shopping trolleys at once in a supermarket. She then told me she had started a new business only a few weeks earlier. Her business was to do grocery shopping for clients, and the business was growing way too fast for her to manage. One thing I have learned time and again over decades from psychic messages like these is that as a psychic, I'm the messenger. The messages are not for me to understand. I need to obtain the information and choose my words carefully and with respect when I convey the information. I need to give you some assurance here. When you choose a spiritual path, your intuitive skills will be honed. That doesn't mean that you need to become a psychic. It simply means that you will lead a richer life regardless of what that life is. You'll no longer be stuck in only the mundane world. You will have access to creativity that will blow your mind if you trust and allow this. In another module, we will discuss the ethics of the psychic world for the practicing psychic as well as for their clients. What is an empath? If you've ever described yourself as an empath because you want to tell the world that you are different and more spiritual than people who are not empaths, you may want to leave here and get something strong to drink. What is an empath? In my definition, everyone who can show empathy with their fellow human being is an empath. If you are a human being with a pulse, you are an empath. Being an empath doesn't make you more special than the rest of the human race, unless it also means that you have no control over your emotions, in which case you may need spiritual guidance or even some counseling from a good therapist. If you get upset easily by what people say and do, that doesn't make you more spiritual or special. It simply means that you need to learn the difference between reacting, which is a knee-jerk emotional answer to your situation, and responding, which is detaching yourself from the situation so that you can see the whole picture, or doing some introspection to discover why you have a strong emotional reaction, which may point to some emotional baggage that you need to make peace with. When a person describes themselves as an empath, it's often with the intent to separate themselves from the rest of humanity because they understand another dimension. But sadly, for me, it's often a strong indication that they are terrified of who they are, and they go into denial as a way out. The people who use this term of empath as a spiritual marketing gimmick have a lot to answer for. They're not helping anyone.